Hey everybody, welcome back to the Monday Q&A Show, the show that answers your questions, helps you in a pinch, and also has a lot of stuff to talk about because there's a ton going on this week. I know I say that a lot, but this time I really mean it. First, I teased you last week. I didn't know they were going to be in. I just got notification they're landing, like basically when this video drops. So I'm going to go and show you. I have got the new patch in. It is the Attack the Doge, the Attack the Shiba. That was like one of the most requested ones on the next on the dog list. It goes with the Attack the Corgi. This is the first dog I've done outside of the Corgi. I've always had the Corgis on the website, I think for like 3 years now, I guess, been doing the Corgi patches. But now I moved to that same artist, my buddy Jim, who is extremely talented, is drawing these, and we're gonna have some more in the future. So just don't worry, it doesn't stop here with the Corgi and the Attack the Doge, the Shiba, on this one. So those are the first two coming up. I also have some different variants of these that'll be dropping too later on. Anyway, I'm excited. The patch, the dogs, it's gonna be super cool. So guys, you wanna check it out in the web store, free shipping, anywhere worldwide, and it goes to help support the channel. Links in the corner for the web store and also down in the description box below. Also, real quick, before we get into questions, I want to do a correction. Last week, I highlighted the Lone Wolf Airsoft, talked about them, and it's actually the Guardian Wolves is the team. I looked at his channel and said, hey, it's Lone Wolf Airsoft, but the team actually that's highlighted in those videos is the Guardian Wolves. I wanted to make sure we gave the correct shout out to the guys there. It's not just him, it's a group of 18 that rotated it out, so it's super important. While he does the edits, it is a team effort. So I want to make sure to get that corrected from last week. So aside from that, let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that's your questions that you've asked down in the comment box in the Tippmann mail call. First off, we're getting some perspective from a ref on how to solve the problem, and I'm gonna bring it up here in this question. So this one comes from Smiley C, and we've talked about people not calling their hits. You hear me all the time. I always say call your freaking hits at the end of all my videos. It's so important. It's core to what we are here as airsofters, and there's always gonna be people that don't understand it or just want to bend the rules. So I'm gonna leave the question up here, the big box here. Smiley is a ref. I don't know where, and it's actually probably good he didn't say that. And he is expressing the exact same frustration that I've talked to you guys and gals about. It's the fact that please go to the ref and explain to them clearly what is going on. A lot of people just go, oh, the guy's not calling his hits, and it's this guy over there and he's wearing green. Well, if it's green versus black team, everybody's wearing green, right? So anyway, he is saying, look, make sure to have a clear description, make sure to talk directly to the ref, and be professional. And like he said, and this is what I've said too, because I've seen it, I've actually even hosted games way back in the day, so I kind of have a little experience here too, that when you try to take the problem in your own hands, like I'm gonna go shoot this guy 100 times full auto, it almost every single time will end up in you getting in trouble versus the cheater who's actually causing the problem. So take it to the ref, get it resolved. It's good to see a perspective from a ref, and I wanted to share this with you. I like to have this two-way conversation, and sometimes these voices that are down here in the comment section down below, like Smiley, I wanted to bring up and let him have his voice through the channel here. So don't forget, that this is a good perspective from a ref. You hear it from me, but also hearing from a ref is pretty big, considering that then you can know exactly what you need to do. And it's pretty much what we've discussed here before. Have a good description of the person that's causing the problem, what the problem is, and be cool when you go to the ref. And then most likely it's gonna get solved, but be patient. Like he said in the question, if you read it, usually there's that good behavior bubble that's around a ref. Ref shows up, oh, I'm gonna be good. I'm hit. But then as soon as the ref wanders off, they're back to their old stuff again. So just be patient. They're aware, they know, and they're gonna fix the problem. Hudson McGath is back again with, hey Jonathan, what's a good budget for a 48-hour MilSim event? All right, so this is kind of a tough one, but I'm gonna give you guys a crack at it. So first off, for long MilSim events, like when I go, typically I'm grabbing a hotel room because after a long day, I kind of want to shower. Now, if it's MilSim West, you're not gonna be able to do that. I mean, you're gonna be camping out in the field. So we're looking at this two different ways. For a MilSim West type game where you're camping out, it's the cost of your gear and food for you for the entire weekend. So I would say, if you're splitting a car, it's gas money. So kind of do the math there based on current fuel consumption where you're driving from or you're flying in. Make sure you probably have to account for baggage fees. Extra bag fees on airlines can be incredibly expensive. I know this for a fact. And then on top of all that, to look at things like, your food budget, I would say maybe $100 for the weekend. I know it's a little bit much. You're going, wow, that's a lot of money, but you want to have a lot of like little power bar snacks, maybe some MREs. They can get kind of expensive, like $10 or $15 a piece. Lots of maybe powder drinks, things like that. Camping food, which is light, you have to pack it in, can get expensive. Now, if you're at an event where you have, let's say, a 48-hour event, but you can go and camp there on site, or you can leave, it's your choice. Then you're looking at a hotel budget around $100 to $150 for that hotel room, depending on where you're staying. Extra gas, rental car, things like that. I have spent for some events, and I'm not lying, between airfare, rental car, hotel, all that, well above $1,000. And then the cost of the event. So you're looking at anywhere between $50 for MilSim event, which is really on the cheap end, up to almost $200+ depending on the AO they're holding this at. So it's easy for a regular MilSim event to look at around $300 on the low end, probably your budget, all the way up to $1,000 if you're gonna fly across the country, rent a car and do all of that and get a hotel. It can get very pricey when you're looking at that, not to mention your gear, your BBs, things like that. So I would say low end, counting gear, BBs, just BBs, consumables, things like that, around 300, moving on up. I think it's gonna give you a safe number. I know it's not cheap, but that is the cost of admission for these big MilSim events. It's just what it takes to get it happen. So for me, it really depends on where you're going, but that'll give you a rough idea of how much money you need to save if you wanna go play at one of the big ones. Ben Theodore writes, what's the best fish to use as a melee weapon? Duh, swordfish, come on. The Wolf of Warsaw writes, hey, what do you think is the best gas blowback AK rifle? There's so many brands and variants to choose from, and I want to know your personal opinion. All right, I'm going to break from what I normally do. I normally never recommend a brand gun. I never go, man, you need to buy this brand because there's so many great ones out here. This time I am. This is probably the only time you're gonna hear me recommend a brand for what you're asking for, and I'm gonna tell you it's GHK. I think by far GHK is producing the best quality gas blowback AK on the market right now, in my opinion. Again, it's not gold, it's not the, I'm not saying that my word is law. I'm saying in what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've seen for gas blowback guns, the GBB AK from GHK really, to me, is probably the pinnacle, the best that's on the market currently here in 2018 toward the end of the year. So that's my opinion on that. There are other fantastic options out there, but I really think overall, if you're gonna blindly just close your eyes and go, I'm gonna buy a gas blowback. Now, if this was AEG, I would give you different recommendations of a few different brands. We're talking about gas blowback here. This is the one brand I'm gonna give you a good recommendation for. So it is on the premium side, but you're gonna be pretty happy with your purchase. I think it's gonna be a solid one. Everybody I know that owns a GHK, including, if you guys saw a few weeks ago, I had one sitting here in the back corner. I mean, experience, right? I had I had one. It was made by Hephaestus. Anyway, it's the Grosvenor. Anyway, it's made by GHK. It's definitely the best on the market today. So my thought, you'll never really hear me say that. It's kind of rare to hear me say that's the best, but in this case, absolutely is. I gotta say, and they're not a partner of mine, they're not sponsoring me or anything like that, but I think definitely these guys have figured out the AK game when it comes to gas blowbacks. Alexander Glass writes, what do you recommend for squad communications or group calls with earbuds? It's too simple. Actually, I think it's a great solution. If you can't afford communications, which I do recommend getting comms, it just helps. If you can't, if you're in an area with cell service or even just some kind of data service and you've got a pretty good data plan, a group call works, or man, just get a Discord server. They're free. You can load the app on your phone. You can do voice talk, or voice activation. Just do that. That works great. You can have like a Discord group, you can have channels, you can have you can create different sub-channels in there for different squads. You can open up the app and move, yourself around if you want to command, like go into a different squad. It's a great solution and it's free if you have a phone. As long as you have data service and you don't mind running up that data bill a little bit with the voice chat, it's pretty efficient. It's not too brutal on the old data plan. I think that's a great solution, honestly. Do something like that, or you can do group chats like Skype group calls or whatever. Those all work as well too. Anything like that is a good solution for me at least. But I think Discord right now is probably one of the best ones. You can do like TeamSpeak or any of those voice chats that have an app, but I still think because it's free and so full featured, Discord's probably one of the better ways to go right now for me when it comes to managing team chats on the cell service signals, so like using your phone and things like that. that's just my thought on it. So if you guys want to take it, run with it, whatever. But once you can get up, graduate to comms, it's always a little better. But for a free solution, this one works out just fine. All right, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time, as always, for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one is a buddy of mine. I promised him I would support him because it's a great show, and it's actually, the channel's called the Airsoft Amigos, but it's Tim Selby. And if you're going, Jonathan, why does the name Tim Selby sound familiar? Because it's Tim, used to be with Red Wolf Airsoft, and now is in Vancouver, Canada, and he's doing this show with the Airsoft Amigos. He's joined the Amigos team, and it's called the Airsoft Show, and it's like a really kind of like a video podcast, long form, actually very akin to where I started with my podcast, so I have a warm place in my heart. If you guys don't know Tim, he is absolutely funny, super witty, and really knows his Airsoft stuff. So this is an absolute easy recommendation. I got the trailer running right now, but he's got 2 episodes out right now. They're doing a weekly thing. It's just fantastic. Mash the sub. Seriously, I can't say enough. Just go over there and just mash it. You can let him know I send you or not. Just mash the sub button. It's worth it. This is going to be one of those channels that's going to grow extremely fast and definitely one to watch here in the Airsoft world. So if you guys into Airsoft content and stuff, this is one you need to add to that sub list for sure. And it's the Airsoft Amigos and of course the Airsoft Show, which is on there. And there's other stuff on the channel too, like reviews and things like that. So it's kind of a good mix. Kind of like, if you like this, you're going to like that. It's that simple. It's that easy. Also, if you guys and gals have a channel of your own or a channel you watch on YouTube, teammates, people you know, local teams, let me know in the comment section below. This is about sharing your guys' channels. I want to help you guys and gals grow in the Airsoft community and make it better and bigger, and all of us as one big Airsoft family all help out and just spread this hobby and sport we have around the world. So make sure to put your favorites down below. I am all ears, as well as your questions every single week. Well, that's it. Thanks a bunch. Don't forget, talk to Shivas, talk to Corbies. I got all kinds of dog. I got like a dog pound, tactical dog pound. So anyway, I got this one here. Anyway, they're in the web store. Again, like I said, free shipping worldwide. Anywhere you live, it goes out. A little slow mail. It's a couple weeks to get there because it's coming from Taiwan where I live, if you guys didn't know that. Also, don't forget, next week I will be at EVIC at Airsoft Con, and I'll be doing my Mondays video from there. I'm going to try to get my Mondays video, so maybe get some live questions from you. I've done this once before, live questions, and it worked out really good. So you get to see all the bloopers and everything. So anyway, come out. I can't wait to see you guys there. In fact, I'll bring these if you guys, I'll bring some to sell. I'll bring them if you guys want them. I'll do some like on-site stuff. So bring it. I'll have you guys hooked up there. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you so much for being here. And until next week, and of course, every upload this week, we do 3 a week on the channel. Don't forget to hit the sub button and the notifications. Go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.